She told her people I'm the one from her dreams. Pop said it ain't always what it seems. Like you bad and all, but I ain't even go beat around the bush. Can we skip to the part where you go and try to cheat on me? Can we skip to the part where you really try to leave? Fuck, just leave.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Herb, and I'm back again with another beat breakdown video. And today, what we're going to be breaking down off of Her Favorite X, which is out everywhere. Go stream it right now or get jumped in the spirit. I'm not playing. Go stream it. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down Cheat. Quick little breakdown or a quick little rundown. The song is basically talking about how there's a certain stage in relationships that a lot of people like to hold a facade, if that makes any sense. There are like people who like to be, they say they want the relationship, but then when you get in a relationship with them, it's like on a total 180. It doesn't make any sense. Let's just skip through all the BS that you've been telling me, and let's just get to the part where I know where it's gonna go because I've been here before. That's pretty much what the song is about. It's not really too complicated. The song really writes itself. As far as a description, like I said, go listen to it. Go listen to it. It's a great song. Also, let me know what y'all would like to hear from the album. If there's any other songs, any other things that you would like for me to break down, or even just explain storylines or whatever. And matter of fact, if she's down, I can get JAH on here. Yeah, let me know if y'all would like to see that. If y'all would like to see JAH on this channel, get this video. I'm gonna give a realistic goal to 20 likes, and I will get her on this channel and we'll break down songs together, or we'll talk about the whole album. I'm challenging you if you like that though. Yeah, so that's Cheat. There's no need to talk anymore. Let's go ahead and get right into this beat breakdown video. Before we get down into the nitty gritty, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out, helps us grow, gives me more things to do, like make videos. And let's go ahead and get right into the beat breakdown. Okay, so here we are in the Cheat session. There's gonna be a little bit of a in-depth breakdown this go around. There's a little bit more tracks to it. All right, let's go ahead and get right into the beat. We're gonna listen to the beat first, and then we'll break it down. There's a little bit of a intro because there was some dialogue there, which we don't really have to get into. We're gonna go ahead and get into the roads. It's kind of repetitive. That's the roads. Like I said, it's a little bit repetitive. Not really much going on here. Mix wise, just a utility and EQ. I like to keep things simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things. With mixing, sometimes you have to overcomplicate things to get rid of that muddy sound. All right, for this next sound, what we used is a sine. It's more like a sine pad-ish, a little bit. Think of the old school 90s, maybe early 2000s R&B. They would use like that glide sine sound. This is what that is. So it's pretty basic, kind of accenting a little bit off of the roads. It's almost like a call and response to the vocals that's in the track. This is what that sine sound sounds like. Yeah, so again, like I kind of said, it's giving a little flavor, seasoning to the track, if you will. As far as mixing goes here, I did a little something. First thing I did, obviously, utility. Added some EQ. As far as the keyscape sign goes, I know you're seeing it and it's like, okay, what is that? What's going on over there? This preset was actually saved from a video that I was watching from Lo-File. Shout out to Lo-File. I seen that he was using the keyscape sign. I saw what he did. I heard what I liked from that sine sound, and I basically just went in and just said, you know what, I'm actually going to take a page out of his book and use it for myself. That was pretty much what I did with that. There's nothing really going on there. It's just towel chorus. After that, I added an auto filter, and yeah, that was pretty much it. As far as this next sound goes, it's very sneaky, hidden under the mix. It's not as prominent, but it just adds support. This is a bass cello from the symphony orchestra. It actually sounds pretty good out the box. This is what the bass sounds like in the symphony orchestra. And that's all it's doing. Not really much going on there. It's just adding support. As far as mixing goes, really didn't do much here. It didn't require me to do much of anything but just EQ it. So that's what I did. I just EQ'd and took out some of the lows and the mids. That is all I did. As far as the next sound goes, this is a French violin, and this is what the French violin sounds like. Very simple, not much. Yeah, so pretty much that was it for the French violin. As far as mixing goes, not much. Utility, EQ. Again, I'm a simple man. I like to keep things simple as far as production goes. This next sound is actually doing the same exact thing that the French violin does. And the reason why is because the French violin by itself sounded okay, but to add more thickness and more support to the French violin, it needed another sound. So I went back to the symphony orchestra, the one that I talked about earlier, and I added the strings, and all I did was just copy the same thing, just played it out, did the same exact thing that I did on the other track, and here's what it actually sounds like. That was the strings. As far as the symphony orchestra, that was supporting and basically copying what the French violin was doing. The only thing that was different on this one was that at the end, a little bit more, you know, a little extra. This specific track, I just kind of added strings to it because it felt cinematic. Pretty much mixing wise, not much going on here. We just have a utility and again EQ8. Okay, so this next sound is actually helping out what the bass was doing as far as the pluck bass, and this is more so present on the, so this next sound is actually just helping out what the bass is doing. This is the pluck strings from the symphony orchestra that I talked about earlier, and this is how it sounds like. So that's pretty much what the string plucks are doing. It's not really doing too much. It's keeping things going, keeping things moving as far as the pocket goes, and just adding something on the second verse so then your ears don't just get bored and just be like, oh, okay, this is the same old, same old. As far as mixing goes here, I have the utility again and the EQ. For this next sound, it is also again from the symphony orchestra, and these are strings that are going to be playing throughout the chorus as well as throughout the end as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play these strings from the symphony orchestra, and then I'll play the strings from the Bohemian violin. So these are what they sound like. And that was the strings as far as the symphony goes. Again, keeping things simple. Utility, EQ8. All right, as far as this next sound goes, it's the Bohemian viola. The Bohemian viola is basically doing the same thing what the other track, the Bohemian viola is basically doing the same thing that the symphony orchestra was doing as far as the strings go in the chorus and in the outro. It's just doing the same exact thing, adding texture and adding support as well. That's pretty much what it does, and this is what it sounds like. That's pretty much what it was doing, the same exact thing that the symphony orchestra was doing. Utility, EQ, those are the strings. Next, what we have is the bass. The bass is a part of the meat and potatoes of this track because there's two basses going on, and both of them cannot be in the way of each other. They just cannot, because if they do, it is not going to be a good time mixing wise. So let's get into the first bass, and then we'll get right into the second bass. All right, so the first bass is moto bass. Now with moto bass, it's mainly going to be present in the verses and as well as the outro. So here's what moto bass sounds like in the verse as well as the outro. Okay, so that was moto bass. As far as mixing wise goes, same thing as before with a little extra this time. So the first thing that we have here is the utility. Second thing we have here is the pull tech. Then we have the EQ. then a glue compressor to add the glue. Lastly, we have the auto filter, which is really kind of not really doing that much, and kickstart. Then I have a spectrum and a tuner. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as mixing goes. All right, this bass is Analog Lab. I'm using it as simply just the bass that is doing most of the work. Moto bass was just kind of lightly here and there. This is what it sounds like. All right, so that was the bass as far as Analog Lab goes. Same thing as before with the Moto bass as far as mixing goes. That's it for the bass. The next thing we have is the drums. All right, for this next sound, it is a shaker. I'm gonna play it for you without further ado. All right, that was the shaker. Next we have is the open hats. The open hats are pretty simple as well. A lot of space here, so it's not going to take up too much time. Let's just go ahead and dive right into it. And that is the open hi-hat. As far as mixing goes, it's pretty simple. Everything is straightforward. EQ8, auto pan doing the same thing that the hi-hat is doing. Just kept it simple. Just really kept it simple. Next we have the kick. The kick is really simple as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and play it for you. Now, to be honest with you, without any other drums playing, it sounds like this is the most basic pattern that anyone can come up with, and you're absolutely right. As far as mixing goes here, standard EQ, the stock saturator in Ableton, that was the kick. The next sound we have is a crash sound. The crash sound is very simple too. It's just only playing on the one, so we're just gonna play it one time. That's the crash sound. Mixing, very simple, just a standard EQ. The next sound that we have here is a triangle. Very simple, very straight to the point. That's a triangle sound. Again, kept it very simple, didn't have to do too much as far as mixing, just took some of the lows out. That's all I really did, and added a saturator because it was a little too quiet, so I just saturated the sound a little bit. Next sound we have here is a tambourine. The tambourine is not just playing in one key, it's playing in two keys, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into that and listen to how it sounds. And that was the triangle. Again, very simple, very short. I did add some effects to it, which was just a little bit of reverb, and that's all I really added. All right, and for this next sound, it is a ride, or a ride bell, if you will. This is that bell sound. And that was that bell sound. It pretty much just messes with the time as far as the decay of it, but I'm controlling that with how I played it. I wanted to play it like it was actually being played and or being sampled. As far as the ride cymbal mixing wise, there's not much going on. I'm just taking out the lows. That's all I did. As far as the next sound goes, this sound is a snare buzz. This is another basic sound that just adds to the complexity of how these drums are sounding together, which I'm not even gonna hold you, sounds amazing. But this is what the snare buzz sounds like, and that's the snare buzz. Not really much going on there mix wise as well. Just took out some of the lows and just left it the way that it was. It sounded good. Now this next sound is the toms, and just like the other drums, it might play a little bit with the velocity, or there's not really much going on here. These are the toms. And that was the toms. Not really much going on there. Just took out some of the lows mix wise and just kept it pushing. And then there was one. The last sound for the drums is a rim. This is what the rim sounds like. That is pretty much the rim there. Not really much going on as far as mixing goes. Just took out some of the mids, the high mids, if you will, and took out the lows as well, and just left it where it was. And that is it for the drums. Yep. So that was it for the whole entire songs. As far as the vocals go that you heard in that track, like the little background vocals that you heard, I sent it over to JAH. JAH basically was like, hey, I think this would be fire if we added this in here. And I said, okay, well, let's do it. Like, what else can we, you know, do to add to the track? And we just added these vocals. So that is pretty much it for Cheat, the beat breakdown video. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see any more. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see any more of these beat breakdowns. This is the second one so far. Yeah, so that is it for Cheat. If you would like to see any more beat breakdown videos, just let me know in the comments. Always like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family, watch the videos, let me know what you think. And until next time, y'all know my slogan. Y'all be safe and y'all stay blessed. Peace. I'm out this thing.
Hey man, my favorite if you like what you just see, check the link in the description. Skip to the part where I'm so obsessed with you. I know it might sound a little strange, but